on the subject of covert female narcissism, and I use the word covert in the strongest sense, as if you're looking out across a beach and just offshore there's a submarine. You can't see it, but it's there. That kind of level of covert capability that is so weaponized and so random that even the operator, even the female that's in it, has such a conscientiousness with it, unpredictable conscientiousness, that those at the hands of it can become severely damaged. Dealing with a covert female narcissist has different layers: positive, neutral, and negative. The element of the positive side of it is what takes us in and causes us to allow that person to infuse us, intrigue us, and fascinate us in a way in which we, to some extent, know the dangers and the possibilities of bad outcomes. But as we come into the neutral, day-to-day coexistence with the covert female narcissist, it can be normal. And this can go on for years and years. Male and female covert narcissistic people can function very well on the positive and normal side of life. And the longer these elements of this person continue, the more off guard we become when finally the sinfulness, the narcissistic attributes surface in the negative side. And I know this from experience. All the intimacy and day-to-day living, give, take, care, share, living, can be turned upside down in a fleeting moment. It's like you're being circled by a shark, and then all of a sudden, without any warning, you're being eaten by the shark, if that makes sense. It's like, and this isn't a very good way of putting it, but you've gotten onto a plane and you're almost at your destination, and all of a sudden the plane's falling out of the sky. You've got no way of controlling it. The consequences being your mental health, maybe your physical health. I've experienced both. I've got physical injuries. Once the narcissism has come out and began to impact the relationship, and your mental health and hand-to-eye mental coordination begins to be interfered with by consequence of these actions, negative actions and reckless behaviours, particularly if you're a sport person or in a dangerous job, or even if, say for instance, you're a doctor dealing with a female covert narcissist, it can affect the lives of others through work. See, not only your own life, but the lives of others that are relying on you for clear, concise diagnosis and implementation of surgical repair. So to some degree, a lot of this stuff just goes over the cuff. Oh yeah, narcissists do this, narcissists do that, and all the other. But once the narcissism moves from positive, travels along in neutral, and then begins to manifest the negative, life can be turned upside down in a fleeting moment. And let me give you an example. In my second marriage, we were going along relatively quite nicely. There was a couple of episodes on nights out where she attacked the waiters and her friends. I was almost at one point going to walk out one night, so I didn't agree with the attitude she was displaying towards anybody, to be honest. I just slid it off as it being a bad night, but it was a definite warning sign that there was more going on inside this person that met the eye. That's the malignancy, see? Sticking its head out. And if we ignore these things, then it will come back to bite us later. So this particular morning, we'd organised to go for a walk down the waterfront. I was going to meet this person there. I arrived after some early morning exercise at the waterfront where we were going to meet, and nobody turned up. To cut a long story short, over a period of an hour, she never turned up. It worked, and this is how to me, the demonic, invisible, dark side of the spiritual realm seems to be able to put things together in a way in which maximum damage can take place. Now, the day before all this, I damaged my phone, and I had organised over the early evening to buy a phone off somebody through Facebook, and I was to meet them at 11 o'clock near where I lived, which was near the waterfront as well, about a 10-minute walk. So when this woman hadn't turned up, I didn't have a phone. I had no way of contacting her. I didn't know if I was coming, going, if something happened to her or not. But I had to leave where we were going to meet to pick up the phone. I thought if I pick up the phone, then in one way or another I can contact this woman and find out what's happened. Well, I got the phone and she didn't answer the call, and as I was walking back to where I lived, I got to my street and she was coming out of the street. And to be honest with you, I wasn't happy at this point, and as a matter of fact, I was very dazed and confused, if that's a fair way of putting it. And I asked her, why didn't you turn up to meet for the walk? And glaringly, she said to me, I went to buy a dress. And in the back of my mind, I've gone, uh-oh, who is this person? Well, she was in the car and she was going to pull out of the street, and I said, well, where are you going? She said, I'm going to take the dress back. I don't like it. And away she went. Well, at this point, I was completely dazed and confused, because I thought, what on earth has happened here? Who on earth is this new person, this negligent, horrible person? And this was, again, the malignant narcissism manifesting in a way in which it was bringing destruction, collateral damage, be it momentary or permanent, to me. I was the person that she was with. I was completely and utterly confused and had no clue about what was going on. Well, to cut a long story short, I went ocean kiting, and I set up, went out, and I just didn't feel right. There was again, this is what I mean. I just thought, no, I'm not performing correctly because of the unresolved I was experiencing through this total chaotic morning that this woman produced, she'd now gone overt. So she was covert. I couldn't see any, particular adversity, but this day it became completely overt. She's come out of the closet. So I come in, and on the come in, the kite, one way or another, got out of control, and I was taken up into the sky, pulled back down onto the ground, and suffered very serious injuries as a consequence. Now, the reason for this happening was, what do you think? It was a result of the confusion, anxiety, and unresolved that was caused previously that morning, because none of the matter had been resolved, by this woman's narcissistic, sinful, very negligent behaviour. So what's the point of this talk? The point of this talk is there's no timeline for when these people that are perfectly fine, even to the point so fine that you'll marry them, okay? The warning signs aren't enough to cause alarm bells that would cancel the progression, your part in the progression of the relationship in a positive element to continue. But the point being, they can surface, the narcissism can surface so severely and so rapidly and so suddenly that you're caught so deeply off guard that the mental chaos that this can cause inside you can bring with it actions and decisions that you do separate to this person but consequential of this person that can completely and permanently negatively change the course of your life. So while we hear all these videos and all these talks about male, female, covert narcissism and all the rest of it, narcissism, this and that, don't underestimate how dangerous this personality disorder, be it full-blown or partial, is. Because I've experienced the worst of it in my life. I've seen it manifest at its worst. And I'm living with the mental and physical scars and injuries of it, and will have to for the rest of my life.